Okay, chaps, we know the country is in a mess, but we have got to come out. We've got to take the chocks away, and we've got to go bomb certain places within this country. And we're going to bomb them with leaflets. Leaflets, sir, which are going to say what we're going to do if we ever get into power. What do you think of that?
When we get into power, thank you.
And you, Stats?
Could be a short leaflet, shouldn't it? Because they won't let us do anything, will they?
And if you think the country's a mess, you want to see my back passage.
The only thing on the leaflet will be eradicate Parliament.
Eradicate.
Eradicate. Here we go.
Exterminate.
Well, there you are. That was the introduction. Eradicate Parliament. Do I sound like Guy Fawkes? Am I going to be arrested?
Every chance of that. Exterminate Parliament.
I turned around to somebody in one of the supermarkets today. I said, "Good morning," and she turned around to me and she said to me, "That's going to be illegal soon." I said, "What?" She said, "Saying good morning."
I reckon what these cretins have done to Parliament should be illegal, really. It should be them in prison, so don't worry about it, mate.
Well,
There's no room, is there? Can't put them in prison.
Well, there we go. We know the Gazelle is in the house. We know the Statsman is the house. In the house.
I'm a temple, not a house.
He's a temple. Okay.
My
My house is a castle.
Merry Christmas last week.
Say what?
I was on Facebook wishing everybody Merry Christmas last week. Before they stop it.
Oh, hang on. I thought there was no swearing on here.
What, Merry Christmas.
Oh, I don't think I swore twice. Sorry, go on.
Well, I was about
I feel a joke coming in.
Oh, no, it's not a joke. I was just...
I didn't mean from you.
when I was get lost.
Just wait your turn, Trev.
Get lost. It was this woman when she said to me, "That's pretty soon that's going to become illegal." Now she's got the perception that Mr. Starmer is actually going to stifle anything and everything to do with joy, or politeness amongst a certain cohort of people. Simple as that. I mean, I say good morning to everybody. If they don't respond, I say, "Good morning." And I shout it out so that they look out and they go, "Good morning." There you go. Even the dogs say good morning to me.
What's this about Christmas then, Trev? Oh, I just swore as well.
No, I have to wish everybody happy Christmas before they stop it. So I'm getting it out now.
Oh, do you think Starmer's a Puritan?
All over Facebook. I think he's can't say that.
He's a what? No. He's
Have you noticed that everything, he's backtracked on everything? We're not seeing anything in the mainstream about people being, arrested for hurty words on social media, which is going to be the topic of tonight's social media, and the people involved, like Elon Musk and the other guy, the French guy, right, the Telegram founder, Pavel Durov. Okay, that's the fella. I was in half a mind when I first saw it. All I read was Durex. I didn't read Durov. Go on, speak.
Well, we're both waiting.
we both got our fingers up.
I'll be done quick then.
You pull your finger out, Trevor. I don't like that. I don't like it at all. Go on, Mark.
I'll be done quick. I'm just waiting for
that's even worse.
Well, stop interrupting. I might get my point across here. Come on. We're halfway through already. I'm waiting for him to backtrack on being PM. The next week, he'll be telling us his name's not Keir Starmer. That's all he's got left.
Before he got into power, if that's what you call it, they used to they called him flip-flop, didn't they? Yeah. So, he's actually keeping up with that.
Oh, God.
And he's making his big speech today. Tomorrow, sorry. Now, 50 days he's been in power, and he's making his first speech. Where's he been?
Where have any of his MPs been? I've not seen any comments from any other MPs in the Labour Party at all. I've not seen anything on Twitter. It's just not being publicised. Go on, Mark.
Or opposition. Nobody's saying anything.
No. Go on, Mark.
There was one MP on something, GB News, Talk TV, just doing the robot impression. Smash the gangs. It was like that. Remember that potato advert for the mash?
Yeah.
Or mash gets smashed.
In fact, it wasn't even that entertaining. His speech is going to be amazing, isn't it? Do you know what he's like? A boring Zippy, isn't he?
Oh.
With his voice. At least Zippy was funny.
You're all fine, right? You're all fine, right?
Spitting image needs to do him.
Oh,
Like
God,
John Major,
people have got to do something.
Yeah, John Major, all grey. That was brilliant, that one.
Yeah.
The
Oh,
grey man.
absolutely brilliant. The grey man.
Yeah, that's what we need.
What are we going to do? What are we going to do?
Drop some leaflets and say, help.
That's it. We've got to. Yeah. Actually, one of us has got to travel over to America and go to the Trump camp and just say, we claim asylum. We need to help our people in our country.
Bagsy me.
Okay. All right. Shall we let him go, Trevor?
I'm going now.
Yeah, we can give him one of them Downing Street passes. We'll give him a pass.
Oh, God, don't talk about that. Have you seen the news that's coming out about all the cronyism that's gone on?
So not about his suits and his glasses.
Oh, Jesus.
£20,000 so he could get some new suits and glasses and shoes.
I know.
The bloke's got £7 million in his wealth fund.
I know. And you just sit back but that guy that donated that money, and he's one of the biggest donors to the Labour Party because he was donating money left, right, and centre. But he's landed a six-figure salary job in the Treasury. And you just sit back and you just say, kettle calling the pot black or the pot calling the kettle black, one or the
That's
other.
the one. That was the one.
Starmer, clearly stating in one of his speeches, his little saying that we are going to change politics and stop cronyism.
Yep. And what's he done? And what has he done? And if anybody wants to call us on it, I would love it. I would love any Labour councillor in Cheshire West and Chester who is listening to this podcast to call us out on it, and we will challenge them to a debate. Cheshire Matters will take on any Labour councillor in Cheshire West and Chester, and this is a direct challenge so that you know, and you can actually try and coax your councillor, Louise Gittins, to come out and go on a stage, and we will gladly sort out the venue so that we can say, well, okay, we want to debate not only your regional policies for Cheshire, but also your belief in your government. Now, if you so much as turn a blind eye or ignore, we're going to call you cowards.
And we'll extend that to the MPs.
Oh, hey,
Mr.
listen.
Landlord.
Yeah, I've got no problem with that. Cheshire Matters could take on every Labour MP within Cheshire and sit on a stage and debate their support of their government and their leader. And if they don't, then we actually get to call them political cowards. Because if they're not willing to come out and support their own leader and their own party and the policies that are being put forward right now, well, in that case, then, I don't think any constituent should actually believe a word that they say. Go on, Statsman.
100% guarantee they will not, because I'm going to call them cowards right now. I tell you what, if any of them come out and do, I'll buy you a case of Peroni.
Whoa, that's something for Statsman.
I'm not buying it for them, I'm buying it for you.
Well, here it is. Okay, well, then we'll state it out quite simply. We can sort out the venues. We can actually sort out all the publicity, both national, regional, and local. And we will actually challenge any Labour councillor in Cheshire or any Labour MP in Cheshire to come and debate with us the actions of their government and what they're doing and whether or not they support them or not. And if they will not come forward because they do not recognize us, we're constituents. We have a voice, and we're telling it to you now. And if you don't, we're going to call you cowards. And we're also going to say that in 2027, all your councillors are going to be challenged. We're going to actually challenge the policies that you're putting forward regionally. In fact, we can actually turn around right now and we can say, if we are voted in, we will actually stop all charges for green waste. We will stop all the fly tipping that's going on. We will start making people in Cheshire happy. We will make sure that antisocial behaviour doesn't continue. We will get rid of all the woke that is actually involved and all the gender ideology in the schools. We'll just get rid of it. And we'll just absolutely, totally and utterly annihilate your policies. We'll just do it. And I wonder how many people are going to vote for you, knowing what's gone on now. So if there is a Labour councillor out there who thinks they're so confident that they're going to get in again, think again. Think again. Go on, Gazelle.
Yeah, just a point there, Mr. Landlord. You said we're going to stop fly tipping. Can I clarify that? Not that we are literally going to stop fly tipping.
I never started. What are you on about?
Because I've not gone to fly
No, I
tipping
know
anywhere.
that. Well, that's a bit like Starmer, isn't it, really, at the moment, where he's actually... I noticed that one of the barristers on X is actually saying, questioning whether Starmer was right to tar everybody with the tag of far right, and whether it was actually right to do that, and whether or not Starmer might be legally liable for tarring people with a label that is not really justified under legislation. Strange, that one, isn't it?
Good point.
Well, I was very interested in that. Go on, Statsman.
As a segue into the main issue, I think Starmer's looking like a pussycat compared to the French now, isn't he?
Oh, God, the way... they've actually arrested the guy who's the Telegram founder, Pavel Durov, and he's been arrested in France. Now, I was correct at the last time when I said it's basically they've got him on terrorism charges. I'm thinking... what the hell? The guy's not a terrorist. He's actually a freedom fighter, freedom for democracy and everything. But the problem is that it can be abused from one point of view if you're able to have complete freedom of speech on the platform. But on another case, and if you look at it in another way, then criminal activity could take place on there. What do you do? He's only providing the platform. Go on, Statsman.
This is the thing. He's being blamed for, I think they've arrested him for allowing cyberbullying, terrorism, drug trafficking, fraud, money laundering, and child abuse content, just to name a few. Well, if that's the case, then I think Jack Dorsey used to be the CEO of Twitter. He freely allowed lots of paedophiles on Twitter. I tried for years to get rid of them. To no avail. Nothing ever happened to him. What about the likes of the people who own Google and Facebook and all this stuff? You tell me it doesn't happen on there? I know they've all got these algorithms to try and stop it, but he really fighting a losing battle. But to me, I think this is really bad for free speech. Well, free speech has been under attack for thousands of years. You can go back from the Romans. The main reasons it's used, and it's the same reason these are using it now, is they use these excuses, don't they? Want to protect the marginalised. Do you know what normally ends up happening? The majority are being actually persecuted by this now. When you look back, kings have done it to stop criticism, haven't they? Governments have done it. Stop criticism of religion, anti-war rhetoric. They've done it in the past to stop bad people. So in the 1920s in Germany, most states banned Hitler from speaking publicly. Yet Hitler concluded that the ban had been a net benefit and boosted his fame and popularity. So it doesn't work, does it?
No.
Henry VIII had treason by words he used against Thomas More. But again, throughout our history, that was frowned upon because it was repealed as soon as Henry died and Edward VI government came in. In America, you wouldn't believe this one. In 1798, the Sedition Act outlawed criticism of the government. And as I say, the Romans did it. I think there was someone quite famous that they persecuted, wasn't there?
Oh,
what was his name again? Jesus.
Yeah, that's the guy.
Well, what you should take from all this is history shows a fight back. So that obviously shows it's wrong. So you had the American, I think it's the First Amendment, isn't it? In the US Constitution, yeah. And then let's look at our country. We've got 1,000 years of law, which along the way evolved into what? A constitutional monarchy, where the monarch, so this will be the king at the present time.
Oh, don't talk to me about him. That guy has the...
I have to, John, because he's... I know, but it's his job. He takes an oath to protect our ancient rights, liberties, religion, and property.
He's done nothing. Zero. Big fat zero.
Freedoms,
And I'm not a
freedoms.
Republican. I'm not a Republican in that respect.
No, John, but what does freedom include? If it doesn't include speech, then what does it mean? I'd say the most important things with freedom are speech, expression, movement, and choice.
And they're restricting that. They're going to put £1 per mile limit on you for movement. They're going to tax you. Get rid of Labour. Don't vote for them because they're not your friend. They're not your friend at all. And anybody that wants to argue it, let's go out in public and debate it. I would love to see the Gazelle debating with Charlotte Nicholls. I would love to see that, but they're too much of a coward. They know that they're going to get slaughtered at the next election. And as the Gazelle was saying before, if this guy tries to push to have a 10-year term instead of a 5-year term, there will be chaos in this country. Will there not, Gazelle?
There's going to be chaos. I would suggest after October. I think when you're looking at when this budget comes out, there's going to be chaos. That's what I say.
Well, when they can give away 11.6 billion for climate subsidies to other countries, what the hell are we doing? That is, 11.6 billion is a lot more than what it is going to cost to give the pensioners the fuel allowance in winter. A lot
that's
more.
Actually 1.2 billion, isn't it?
I know. And you just sit there and you just go, what are these people about? They're harming their own people.
They have to turn back on that.
Oh, God.
There's a petition going around at the minute. I know, well, you get all these petitions everywhere, but it's the biggest one I've seen in modern times, which is something like 260,000 signed it now. But it's bring back the pensioners thing. They can't, I don't think they can ignore it. It is political suicide for them.
I'm just wondering, dragging it back to the real subject of Telegram and, social media, I'm just wondering whether or not any of these politicians, it would be nice to know whether or not they're communicating with each other under Telegram. That would
Probably,
be interesting.
Mate. But my question is, who is protecting our freedoms? Because the right to free speech is essential, especially for groups to protest, debate, and be heard. How are we going to change anything?
Yep.
Look, our king has a role here. He still has all the privileges and prerogatives he had in the past. He just has to abide by the law. It's all in the Bill of Rights. We've been through this before in the coronation oath, and the judges, the police, the politicians all swear allegiance to the king. So they're all meant to protect this so we can speak out about things. Look, after the Second World War, we got these universal human rights, and this was done by people like Churchill and that, and we had Article 10 and stuff, which were meant to protect the majority against tyranny from the state. Yet here we are now with them using that to protect the minority and persecute the majority. But they get to choose, don't they, on what line? So it's gender, it's sexuality, it's skin colour, it's identity, and it's religion. Oh, no, it's certain religion, isn't it?
Yeah, certain religion.
You say something about the Jews and you're anti-Semitic. You say something about Islam, you're Islamophobe. Christianity, crack on, not a problem. Cultural Marxism.
Oh, no, that's got to come to an end. And Welby, as a protector of the faith, that guy is an absolute disgrace. And I'm a Christian, and I'm absolutely sick of what that guy is doing. Sick of it. Go ahead, Mark.
See, this sets a dangerous precedent, arresting him and putting him on all these charges. So they're now going to accuse him of being the publisher, like he would be if he was a newspaper or something. Yep. Now he's a platform, so who's next? Where does this stop? So eventually, if you're in the Labour Party and there's someone who's a paedophile, is that Keir Starmer's fault? Is he to be arrested?
Correct.
If you're a bus driver and someone on your bus commits a crime, is that your fault? Where's this going to stop? Like when they say, oh, you've got freedom of speech, but not for this. And then it's, oh, but just not for this as well. And then, oh, it's not for this as well. So where does it stop?
Remember, 82% of this country is white.
That's 75 now, I think.
No. 82%. Those are the official figures.
Might want to check the last census on that one,
82% is still white. Now, if you're starting to suppress the views of the majority, then you're asking for trouble. They're trying to enforce certain things which those platforms are being utilized for. They're trying to enforce migration on this country, and nobody wants it. There was never any vote. There was never any referendum to say yes. we actually left the European Union in order to stop it. And it hasn't happened. Every successive government has promised to stop it. The Conservatives promised to stop it, never happened. Labour, they've said that they're going to stop it. Nothing has happened. It's increasing. So what are we supposed to do? And now you're starting to see laws that are actually stopping you from expressing yourself about some of these things. That's not a democratic country. That's not freedom of speech at all. Go ahead, Mark.
The only thing they want to stop at the minute, well, in my opinion, is their criticism of their policies and the fight back. Look, the problem is I think the battle for political correctness is over. People have been taken to social media and speaking their minds for a while now. Everyone knows it's political correctness gone mad. You've got comedians now who are just openly taking the piss, and you've got rappers now who just don't give a damn anymore and are saying anything they want to do. So I think now we've entered the time of psyops, cancel culture, censorship, lawfare, and assassinations as their efforts to stifle criticism have definitely shifted up a notch, haven't they?
Well, look at what they're doing to
It's
Elon
dangerous.
Musk.
That's what I said. Who's next?
The question arises, could Elon Musk be arrested and cancelled in this country?
Yeah, I think Pavel Durov, I think he's the test case.
What, in France? Yeah?
Yeah, because they've managed to get him because he's got French citizenship. And he travels throughout Europe. You think he's based in Dubai, but they've waited till he's come back. So they've had him under surveillance. So they planned this. Yeah. So they're all in conjunction, aren't they? As soon as they went after Starmer, behind the scenes, they were going after this guy too. But this time, they just haven't said anything, have they?
The question still arises. I'm sorry, Trevor, and I will.
It's all right. It's okay.
I will give way to you after I said
Sorry,
this.
I said Starmer. I think I meant Musk.
The question still arises: are any Labour members of the government using Telegram to communicate with each other? And also, why are Labour still using Twitter to communicate if they are criticising X for what they're doing and where there's a potential for Elon Musk to be arrested? Why are they still using it? They should just remove themselves all from X, and X should actually just close the accounts of every single Labour MP, to be honest with you. They should just close them down.
Yeah.
As simple as that. But he hasn't, because he's believing in a democratic right for people to have free speech. So he's looking at it from their point of view as well. Now, any of those Labour people, if they're actually criticising Musk and they're doing it on X, then they've got an absolute cheek for what they're doing. An absolute cheek. Go on, Mark.
They don't do debate. We'll bring an argument and they can't bring one because they haven't got one. So I know where this is all going to end up. They're going to shut Telegram down and they're going to go, right, however we did that, we need to do that with Musk.
Yeah.
But if Trump gets in, they're going to struggle a little bit. But until then, if this gets pushed hard.
If Trump gets in, I would advise Elon Musk to cut off all access to all communications required by this country. We need help.
Yeah, Rumble did something similar, didn't they?
Yeah.
They were attacked by certain countries and they just said, right, well, we're gone. Just close Rumble down in those countries.
Yeah, but they know they need Starlink to actually be able to operate and to do things militarily. There's a much bigger problem going on here geopolitically. And if I were Musk, I would just say to the British, shut the up. Starmer, shut the up, or I'm just going to cut you off. Simple as that, because I don't give a shit about you. I care about the people. You're just a little tin pot dictator. And if I can actually find a way in to attack you legally, or to allow the people to attack you legally, you're simple as that. You are So Starmer knows he's on a no winner, right? He can only try to do what he can do with the EU, and the EU is as well. They know that. As soon as Trump gets in, they're because he's just actually going to turn around to him and say, shut up. And the EU are going to shut up. Simple as that. So we just got to hope that Trump gets in. Simple as that. Anyway, I might bleep some of that out.
I was going to say,
I
you've
might
got
not
some work
bleep
to
them.
do there, mate.
Oh, yeah.
On your bleep machine.
Oh.
Yeah, but you've got the bloke who's in charge of Telegram, the billionaire. You've got Elon Musk, the billionaire. You know, and they're going to try and take those people on who are going to have the best solicitors in the world, not a tin pot Starmer. They're going to have the best solicitors the world can provide.
The military have got to understand they need those things that Musk provides. They will need the backing of America. It's as simple as that. So they know that if Trump gets in, they're in a no-win situation. No win. Starmer will find out how tiny he is on the political stage, geopolitically, especially with China. Because if Trump opens his mouth, I saw a video of him the other day where he turned round to the head of ISIS when they were negotiating an exit. And he turned round to him and he said, if you harm one hair on any American soldier, I will kill you. And the guy from ISIS looked at him and then he took out an envelope, showed him the envelope, and it showed him his residence where this guy lives. And basically, this guy no American soldier got killed while Trump was in. That was it. No American soldier got killed. And I've got the video of the guy that told the story about that. And so as far as I'm concerned, I know that Trump doesn't have the best of reputations, but his heart is actually in the right place. And he made sure that those American soldiers got out without being killed or harmed. There you go.
It's a shame Biden couldn't have done the same thing.
No, he just left billions of equipment there, which they're utilizing to show their strength. And Biden, I don't know why anybody ever believed in the Democrats. And when you get people like RFK coming across and endorsing Trump, then that kind of says it all. If they're going to go after Musk and all the rest of them, they better be big because there's always a kickback. Putin has even sent consular assistance to the Telegram guy. Can you believe that? He's actually...
Of course he will, yeah. Well, he is Russian, but they actually tried something to... there's a video out there, isn't there, where he said someone was it American intelligence? Someone was trying to basically recruit one of his engineers so they could put a backdoor in Telegram. But the Russians also wanted some information off them about what Ukraine were up to, and he refused to give it to them.
There you go.
So he's not in their good books, but they will take the moral high ground on this one, or they won't be the Russians.
Of course they will.
Yeah.
It makes sense to. Now, I don't know. How can Musk be threatened when this guy is providing assistance in space?
I was about to say, I'd tell him rescue your own astronauts.
Yeah, just to say, off. That's it. I'm sorry that if everybody's thinking like sort of he's swearing, but I'm so angry about all of this stuff. I mean, I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, who the is Starmer? Who the is the Labour Party? Who are they to actually stymie everybody? I can't wait until the first legal action comes against Labour. If they won't actually come out and debate what they're doing, then they're cowards. They're absolute cowards. Go on, Stats.
What was pronoun Jolien's name? I wonder if he's going to be taking out loads of cases against the government now. It's changed to his side. You know what I mean, don't you?
Yeah.
Because he was doing one every week, wasn't he, when the fake cons were in? Remember them? Fake cons.
Fake cons, yeah.
Yeah, distant memory. But yeah, I'll see if a lefty wants to attack his favourite government now.
Oh, it's just...
I'm going to say he won't do anything.
I think if you don't have a democratic social media, then what have you got? I know that there are downsides to it, and that can be actually sorted, but no way should any social media platform kowtow to any government. It shouldn't. It should be completely independent, because if you don't have independence, then you just wind up with the legacy media, what we have now. Tell me how they're actually doing this country any good. by just listening to the PM's office and the PM's PR people.
Well, it's the same as the local newspapers, the Warrington Guardian, etc.
Exactly.
They're all bought. They're all bought. It goes right through the system.
Yeah, that's it.
Right through the system.
Well, I can tell you straight now. I mean, I'd love to know exactly how much Cheshire Live is being paid for the adverts that the council are buying. You know, if Louise Gittins is thinking that she's going to get a free ride on all of this, my message to her is, if you're so brave and you're so much in support of your party and your actions and everything that you're doing within Cheshire, come out and debate it publicly, legitimately and democratically. Debate it. And if you can't, well then, I'm sorry, Louise, but you are a coward. Your head of legal, and correct me if I'm wrong, Statsman, your head of legal turned around and said, you're not liable to respond to anybody if you don't feel like it. Well, I'm sorry, but I'm going to make sure in 2027, we're going to do things, we're going to educate people on exactly what you are about, and we're going to actually try and get you democratically removed from your position by offering a better mandate for the people, because we don't believe you're doing any good for anybody. Am I right or am I wrong, Stats?
That's right. She wouldn't even give a statement to parents who've been messed around on their children's special educational needs for, God, I don't know, some of them over a decade.
Correct.
Just hid round the corner and then refused to speak to us. Instead, actually, she chose to threaten you, didn't she? So
She did.
You know, that says everything, doesn't it, really?
Well, let's make it clear. If you're thinking, and this is to the Labour Control Council and to the head of legal at Cheshire West and Chester, if you're thinking of trying to drum up anything stupid, be prepared, because we will face you head on legally, because we're sick and tired of what you're doing. Why are you not concentrating on getting on with the fly tipping and sorting it out? Why do people in Stanley Grange have to actually put up with long grass, things not being cut? Why? You know, this is like stupid. They're paying their taxes the same as anybody else. You know, yeah, I think you're actually taking the Michael, to be honest with you. And you're thinking that nobody's going to say anything? Well, we're going to educate people. We're going to help them to understand and articulate their concerns. And we're going to give you a lot of problems. And those problems are going to be legitimate democratic problems. Go ahead. Trevor, you wanted to say something.
Yeah, I was going to say, we're in a sort of a bit of a problem, really, because if they all answer and they all come back at once, that's going to be one hell of a mass debate. Isn't it?
Sounds like we won't have
I
the
think
master
you can
debate
handle
you're
it,
looking
sir.
for.
I think you can handle it.
Oh, I can definitely handle it.
I don't even think that Charlotte Nicholls would even come within a mile of a debate with you.
She hasn't done.
She didn't do hustings with you, did she?
No, she didn't do nothing.
Does that not show them to be democratic cowards?
They are democratic cowards. All she does, she sits back, stays out of the limelight, and just puts the red rosette on. And all she does around in election time, she just sits back, stays out of the way, won't go into hustings, won't debate, just puts a red rosette on, and they vote for the donkey.
Well, I think that's got to change. I think people have got to understand they deserve better. Every single Labour councillor within Cheshire West and Chester, and also in Cheshire East, should actually be ashamed of themselves, because they're not doing anything for their people. They're not making their lives better. I can't see it. Introducing charges? I mean, next minute, what are they going to be doing? They're going to be introducing a charge for going to the tip more times than you're allowed to. You get lost. We're going to offer councillors and we're going to educate people, independents and anybody else, and just say, give the people what they need. Simple as that. Go on, Mark.
Problem is, we've got flocks of sheep who are happy with this mess that we're currently witnessing.
Well, we just got to get out to them.
They outnumber the people who are actually, can think logically and want change. No. And the people who don't vote.
We've got to get the people out to vote. I mean, let's just say straight off, is this a fact? 39 million people did not vote for Labour. Is that a fact?
No, probably more, was it?
Well, and 9.7 million people voted for Labour. So if we got all the people out who could vote, who are unhappy, if we could actually trigger them off, Labour are finished. Labour are finished in this area. And as far as I'm concerned, I give another warning to Justin and say, you know, if you think you're going to be in for the next term and you're going to get an easy ride, nah, you're not. That's a special message from me to Justin Matters. You're not going to get that easy ride. Go ahead.
Yeah, they've got the biggest majority of minorities. Work that one out. They've got the biggest majority of minorities ever seen. 4 out of 5 people did not vote Labour.
Correct.
4 out of 5. The turnout was so low. Well, it was the lowest turnout in history, wasn't it? So all those that are all these new Labour MPs that have got in there on these minorities really, really need to start thinking about things. Starmer's going to wipe them out. He's going to wipe them out with things like taking away the fuel allowance. They're just going to wipe out those minorities that they've got.
And don't forget releasing criminals to house keyboard warriors.
Oh, it goes on and on, doesn't it?
I can't work them out. I think to our American friends, they're dollar store Democrats. In this country, they're pound shop Democrats. And you can see exactly what they're doing. And you've got to stop them. You've got to make sure that they are not able to get back in. You've got a chance in 2027 to get rid of all Labour councillors who are doing nothing for you. They're doing nothing. You can see nothing for the money that you're spending. We need to actually put forward policies that are actually going to get other people elected and get these people out. Go ahead, Statsman.
The problem is there's a lot of people who are disillusioned with politics. And in their minds, they think, well, I'm not voting for any of these people. But that's the wrong thing to do because you're still going to be governed by some of these people. So at some point, you're going to have to think which group of these people closely aligns with my goals and what I'd like to see for the future. Sometimes it might mean voting for someone that you're not 100% for. But if you don't do that, you're going to get the worst of it. I'm not saying keep voting Conservative because of Labour, but there's other options now. And unless people are going to put themselves forward independently as well, then all you've got basically is reform.
That's right. It? And also, when Labour come round and they come round to your door and they ask you for information, do not talk to them.
Don't even open the door.
Don't even open the door. Don't give them any information. These people got in on the lowest turnouts. That's the way that they did it. And anybody that is sitting there saying, oh, I voted Labour because my dad voted Labour, you're an idiot. Stop doing it. Stop it.
Hey, that's a bit harsh on idiots, isn't it?
Oh, God. You've got to actually look at it and say, do you like the fly tipping around the back of your house on the Stanley Grange?
You love it, John. They must do.
Do you like your grass not being cut? Do you like being charged for having your grass taken away in a green bin? What else are you getting for the money that you're paying and for the taxes that you're paying? Question it. Look at it and just say, and they're thinking of introducing more charges for you to go to a tip and do things? Get lost. Tell Louise Gittins and the Labour Control Council to go shove it where the sun doesn't shine and start asking questions. Start asking questions like, how much is being spent of your tax that you're actually getting collected from you by Cheshire West onto things like Pride? Start asking what the councillors are paying out for. Ask questions and see where your money is going. You need to actually do these things and start waking up, because if you don't, you're fools, because you're just playing into their hands exactly what they want.
And the rest of us suffer.
Correct. Statsman?
Problem is, unless people, back to the point of this podcast, unless people defend the right to speak, you aren't going to be able to speak out about these things. So people are going to have to look at the bigger issues, because eventually you're going to be silenced from saying anything to anybody of power at all.
Go ahead.
I was going to end with a little quote, and it's from John Lewis, an American politician and civil rights activist. And he said, "Without freedom of speech and the right to dissent, the civil rights movement would have been a bird without wings." So these lefties might want to think on about this.
Oh, yeah.
Before they carry on down this dangerous road of tyranny.
And let me just say that a writ only costs around about £300 to £500 to serve. Doesn't cost a lot, but it causes an awful lot of trouble. And if people were smart enough, especially the people that have been classed as far right, according to Keir Starmer, a collective writ on Keir Starmer would cause a massive problem for the Labour government. And it is possible. And that's the truth. Well, there we go. We've had quite a serious say. And I know that people will be sitting there thinking, what the hell is going on? Well, what the hell is going on is you're having your freedom curtailed. And it's happening slowly. And you think it isn't happening, but it is. Go ahead. Say goodnight, Gazelle.
Good night, everybody. Thanks for listening, as always.
And Statsman.
Good night to all lovely listeners. I hope to tune in again next time.
Well, here we go. Cut a lot off my shoulders there. Okay. Do you think Justin will be willing to come forward and have a debate?
No.
No.
Do you think Charlotte Nicholls would be willing to come forward and have a debate?
I know she won't.
Do you think any Labour councillor in Cheshire West and Chester and Cheshire East would be willing to come forward and support their government?
No, they'll just stay away from you.
Really?
Because they're cowards.
Cowards? I reckon they're chickens.
Chickens.
But do you know we can have up to 1,000 people on a debate on Zoom? Do you know that?
Yeah, the problem is you need a brain to debate.
Yeah.
Some morals.